So Thomas Hobbes and John Locke are both from the 17th century, and they are offering up theories of social contract theory. Well, John Rawls, if we jump ahead 300 years to the 21st century, John Rawls also offered up a social contract theory. John Rawls believed that people in society need to create rules to cooperate for the best life possible. So just like Hobbes and just like Locke, Rawls believed that we ought to be cooperating. We need a set of rules. We need cooperation so that we can understand and appreciate what needs to be done for all of us to live the best life possible. To do that, he believed that when we come together to make the rules, we need to be behind what he called the veil of ignorance. The veil of ignorance, a metaphorical veil, by the way, is when people are ignorant of the roles they play in society. What this means is that when I go in to make the rules, when I go into my committee so that we can draw up rules for our society, I don't know what role I'm going to play in society. If I represent a group of people, I don't know what role they play in society. I don't know if I'm going to be a bricklayer or a doctor. I don't know if I'm going to be rich or poor. I don't know if I'm going to be a man or a woman. Behind the veil of ignorance, I don't know any of this information. Why would we do this? Because we are self-interested creatures. We do look out for ourselves. We do want to do things that are going to work out really well for us. And to that end, if we go in knowing what role we're going to play in society, we are going to make rules that are going to favor us. But behind the veil of ignorance, we won't do this. If I don't know if I'm going to be a bricklayer or a doctor, then I'm not going to make rules that are going to put either bricklayers or doctors at a disadvantage. I'm not going to make a rule that doctors only have to work 4 hours a day, 3 days a week, and they get paid $1 million a year. I'm not going to make a rule that says bricklayers have to work 12-hour days, 7 days a week, and have no access to health care. If I knew I were going to be a doctor, I might make that first rule. But if I'm going to be a bricklayer, I'm not a fan of that rule. I'm not a fan of the second rule either. So if I don't know what I'm going to be doing in society, then I'm going to not want to make a rule that's going to put me at a disadvantage. If I don't know if I'm a man or a woman, I'm not going to make a rule that says women are only allowed to go to school until the 8th grade, and after that they have to start popping out babies and stay home and cook. As a self-interested creature, I don't want to put myself in that position. So if I don't know if I'm going to be a man or a woman, I'm not going to make that rule. So Rawls believed that we needed to create rules as though we don't know how they're going to affect us. Does that make sense?